Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Janet Rangi. We are joined by a special guest. Of course, some of you you've met Bruce before. Bruce is from originally Uganda, but he's
Yes.
in Canada. And Bruce, I'm gonna give you a chance to introduce yourself as always because we know there are always new people coming on the page. But before we start, I just want to introduce this good topic today: good options for those without proper documentation in America, how families are rejoining in happiness. So we're going to touch on the main pain points. These are some of the things that people are experiencing. And I believe that for me to come here with videos, we really have to solve our situation. And this
That's
is
right.
one of those people, that Bruce, I called you specifically on this video because I know there are so many people who are under the table. They don't have papers. They don't have a future basically where they can rejoin their families, where they can go back home, where they can have work permits and everything. And I just want you to give us some of those options. And the reason why I was excited to bring you today, it's based on true stories. Talking about theory is one thing, but talking about true stories is very, very important. So for those who are coming in, please consider staying until the end, share with your families. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for following. And I'm just going to introduce to you the three things that Bruce is going to talk about today. Bruce is going to talk about people who come in with J1 with restrictions and they are stuck, because, with J1 with restrictions, you might not have any immigration benefits unless you come to us early enough to show you how to do the waiver and then change status to student. Don't get me wrong, okay? There are those options, but those others, Canada is an option. Number two, this is very, very important. And this involves people who did not have papers. In fact, Bruce is going to share with us an example of someone who was on VAWA. And for someone to be on VAWA, more than likely other options have failed. We are talking of people who did not have papers. And they are so happy to rejoin their families. They are so happy to travel back home because at some point they've probably earned enough money in America. And money is still a priority, but their main priority is to rejoin their families, to travel back to Kenya. You understand? So I just want you to use these real examples that have happened to some of the people that we know so you can place yourself somewhere and have some hope. Okay. And the third example, I think Bruce will remind me, is someone who did not have papers, but they have education. In some states here in America, you might not have papers, but they will let you go to school. So, what are these openings in Canada? And yes, this is a real example. Bruce is still arranging with these people. They might come live and tell you these stories one day. But we thought these are very, very important examples because these are people who did not have papers and now they're enjoying their wife. Now they're enjoying their husbands. Now they're hugging their children. Do you understand? Now they have nice jobs in Canada. So, Bruce, welcome, welcome. Please feel welcome. I'm sure the clients and the followers want to hear from you. Please introduce yourself before we go into the J1 opportunities. Welcome, Bruce.
Well, thank you so much, Janet, and thank you so much for anyone catching us live and those that will find this video. I'm so happy to have you guys today, and I'm thrilled to share this information. You know, originally I come from Uganda, and from Uganda I joined the J1 program in the US. And after I got a better opportunity, that's why you see Bruce Canada. So I reside in Canada permanently now with my family, right? Because family is a very important thing. Well, um, I'll just go straight to the J1 opportunities that are out there for our clients that have been successfully granted the J1 visas in the US, either as a trainee, either other interns. The opportunities that are here that are breaking the restrictions, mostly like the 2 year home residence restrictions that are put with these J1 programs. Um, in this time, we've been working with lots of students, lots of people that are in such situations, and we've successfully solved these issues. I'm happy to tell you that, whereby uh, at an early stage of their programs, remember when you come as a J1 student, as a J1 student, you are given a stipend, and you guaranteed to to earn that. So that gives you a financial kind of capacity. And remember, the U.S. Embassy shares immigration information with Canada. and some other three countries, which is New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. So to make sure that this becomes a success, you have to make sure that you plan earlier on time. Janet, you sang a song about J1 visas, J1 visas. I think, and our at one time I was on the other side of the world, and I just watched you, and I took the steps, right? So we're talking about people who have taken steps. As we talk, some people landed yesterday on J1 visas in the US, and they feel like, okay, this is a 2-year program. What's happening? I want to start my life over in this beautiful North America, whereby I have financial freedom, I have financial security, which we really aim to assure people. So, in the first place, you have to reach us in time. When your program is a year, please reach out at the time when you get it approved. Reach out, be like, you know what, I'm thinking about this. I'll be here. We shall be able to, when you book us a consultation at janet67 at gmail.com, we're able to give you a very detailed consultation that will guide you, right? There are things that shouldn't, do's and don'ts that you shouldn't get yourself into before we apply for these other adjustments that will be coming when you start. So we're able to give you a clear guideline of how you'll be able to apply for a Canadian visa, and we're able to give you assistance if you wish. And after that, you're able to use your experience, because when you come as a J1 student, let me say in the hospitality field, that experience you're earning, a Canadian employer is interested in it, right?
Yes, yes. And actually, we have to tell them, what Bruce means is people who go on J1, they usually have a document called DS 2019.
Yeah,
And that DS 2019 is what determines how long they'll be in the United States.
that's
So the
right.
DS 2019 can give you a duration of 6 months, 1 year, or 18 months. And after that, if you have restrictions on your passport, it means that after that program, you're supposed to
Articulate.
go back home for 2 years before you ever ask for any immigration benefits in the United States. So some people, they come here, they focus on J1, the internship and the job. And then they realize, time is moving very quick and I have restrictions. I can't ask change of status. I can't ask for any immigration benefits because the law told me to go back home. So what
That's
Bruce
right.
is saying is you either contact us, Janet Rangi, 67 at gmail.com, so we can talk about the waiver process to clean that waiver so that you can get immigration benefits. But unfortunately, some people come when it's kind of late. Okay, but it's good for you to think of Canada as an option. And what Bruce is saying, he's a perfect example. Bruce is a product of a J1 program, used his American experience here in Missouri and Washington state to go to Canada, and now he's a permanent resident, if not a citizen. Yes,
Thank you.
so I just thought I had to explain the background so they understand what J1 means. And for those who are coming in, please stay tuned. We love your comments. Keep using your buttons and leaving your comments. I'm going to share them publicly here if you want to be heard. But normally, I can post your comment here, so please feel welcome. And Bruce is going to talk about even people who do not have papers in America and how they've rejoined families and started a new life and had happiness. So thank you, Bruce. You can continue briefly about the J1 before we talk to some people. People don't have papers. I'm just being honest. And we are here to solve problems.
Yeah, thank you so much, Janet, for clarifying that. And I would say exactly what I meant. You drove the point home. Thank you. Um, I want to design a case scenario of one of our recent clients that came on a J1 visa. He was in a culinary school, and after his program in New York, uh, I think he had put in like 5 months out of 6 months. We're able to get a Canadian visa for him, which is 8 years. And after, we're able to, when he crossed over, we're able to secure him a job, right? So, but his job was most granted because of his American experience. You understand? So he was able to articulate the North America kind of aspects of his field. I will tell you, it was only one shot, and I would say there were like 30 candidates who applied for this job, but he's the one who won the entire team. So I would say it's very practical. We've done it, and this person, they're able to get into employment. Their first contract is 2 years, and after that, they're able to apply for permanent residency in this country. And after securing permanent residency, they wait for 3 years and they become citizens. How
Yes.
nice is that for your child, your brother, your sister watching, and you know that he's on the J1 program, and they're able again to cross in the United States on a visitor visa and do everything they want and live the same life they invested in.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Bruce. Basically, what you're saying, if someone comes on a J1 visa and time is tight and they are not seeing their options in America and they don't see themselves going back home for 2 years to do nothing, they can always utilize Canada. And Canada
Absolutely.
loves the experience. That's what Bruce is saying. You can always apply for a visit visa while in the United States, while on legal status, and your chances of approval are almost guaranteed. Very, very high. Okay.
Yes, very,
That's
very high.
very, very high. So do not stay there stuck with a J1 visa saying, but I have restrictions. But if I go home, I have nothing to do. Where will I use my experience? If you go to Canada, you can use those 2 years in Canada, and you can always come back to America to fulfill because you fulfilled your 2 years home residency requirement. Okay.
Absolutely.
As long as you stay here, unless you go asylum way, which we do not recommend unless you truly, truly fear for your persecution, okay? You want to seek options that are very flexible, options that will reunite you and your family. So for J1 visa, basically that's what we are saying. And you can see Ashley shared here the email, okay? We can always consider, we have a lawyer that does a removal of waivers. If you want your waiver removed, you can write to us, janetrangi67@gmail.com. But if you want your waiver removed, as I said, years 2019 can be maybe 12 months or 18 months. And so you sit here, you only have 1 year, 12 months, wait until 8 months to come. It's not good. You want to start early so that you can contact the lawyer early, so that they can clear the waiver early. And then you can decide if you want to do change of status to student in America. Now you're clean. But in case you come to us and the lawyer is trying to waive your process and you run out of time, Bruce will remain available to hold your hand so that probably you can utilize the opportunities to Canada. So share with people this video, especially we know people are coming on J1, hospitality, agriculture. I know some people on the southern part, Zimbabwe and South Africa and Zambia, most likely. I don't know about Malawi. They don't have restrictions, so they are lucky about that. But most people from the East, especially Kenyans, have restrictions on their passport. A few
That's
of
right.
them I've seen them get visas in the Middle East and they didn't have restrictions. So I don't know how that works, but most of them on J1 they have restrictions. Maybe one day they get rid of it. We know some of us have made that program very popular. Okay, 3, 4, 5 years ago, probably people didn't talk about J1. Now everyone talks about it, and we are very happy about it. Bruce, before you go to the next point of people who do not have papers, this person here has a question about misrepresentation. Anytime you misrepresent, that's why you got a ban. Will it affect my US visa? More than likely because they do fingerprints, right? But
Yeah,
don't,
absolutely.
5 years go by so quick, by the way.
Yeah, but again, it would the ban does not stop you from applying from other embassies, right? But you need to be you have to have a very conclusion because this will show up in the other system because Canada, Australia, New Zealand, UK, and the USA they share immigration information. So if you have a conclusion, or there's another option, if you're willing to take it on, if you get a lawyer, this restriction can be revamped. The ban can be revamped. So don't feel like you're lost. There's a solution for you.
Okay, so just
janetrangi67@gmail.com for
yeah,
more details.
I'll connect you to Bruce so you can have that discussion. Yeah, so does this apply to B1, B2 visa holders? Of course, Bruce comes here. There are people who come on a visit visa here. They're like, Bruce, I also want a Canadian visa. Okay, and then they apply to Canada. Yes, that is possible. You can have a visit visa in America and you can have a visit visa in Canada. And also we'll bring Bruce back to tell you some of the benefits of having a visit visa in Canada. Okay, yeah, so that is possible. But for those on B1, B2, of course, even here in America, your intent, of course, is to come and go back. But in the event that you want to stay, there are opportunities for you to stay. Mostly you change to student F1 visa. Okay, that happens a lot. Okay, and you can utilize that student visa to do nursing or to even proceed to other kinds of green cards. Okay, yeah, so today they have many questions, and I'm about to let you, Bruce, go to the next point. If one does HCA exam as an international student doing finance, will it bring issues during CPT or PT? I think what you are trying to talk about is probably working. Working is never allowed, but I don't think that is work. Okay, and I think it's don't ask, don't tell. I don't know what you're trying to imply there. Okay, um, is it part of your course? Okay, yeah. Most of the things people like asking is like they want to report themselves on things they are doing. I don't know. Most of these things no one has asked, but you ask so many questions that even me I can't answer. Okay, watching from Kenya, very nice session. Okay, can someone on J1 with 2-year restriction continue with another program and switch to F1, then after completion goes back home to fulfill the home residency requirements? Bruce, that's for you, but usually you can
Well,
read it again. Bruce also was in this situation.
yeah. So as I've told you, if you have the 2 year restriction, you either have to waive the restriction. You cannot cross to the F1 without waiving the restriction because the restriction is already spelled from the embassy that issued the embassy in your home residency that issued the visa that you have to return and fulfill the 2 year home residency. So to be honest, you have to you have to meet this until you waive it. As I told you, there's an option to waive it. There's an option to waive it, and there's an option to apply for a Canadian visa as well to be still in the safe North America space.
Yes.
So yeah,
See, if the answer is no, that restriction basically what it means is we are not giving you any benefits until you go back home to serve for 2 years. That's what it means. Meaning you can't be a student. You can't ask for anything else. Okay, of course, asylum they'll always give anyone, don't get me wrong, but that is like milk and honey, and then you stay in bondage. You can't leave. So it's a choice. Of course, you have to fear persecution, and there are conditions for that. But basically, if you want to switch, you have to waive, you have to remove those restrictions from your visa. And that's why we are sharing our email. It's possible, guys. Don't fear. We have a lawyer that does it all the time. People come to me, I give them the lawyer's email and the lawyer's number. They go and waive it. So the thing is to just come early. So don't look at it as if it's impossible or they are going to deny or something. No. Okay. All right. Say, Bruce, you can answer that question, and please tell us now. I want you to go ahead and talk to us about someone. Okay, we know of someone. Okay,
yep,
who was on a VAWA. For those who don't know what VAWA is violence against women. Okay, so we've seen situations whereby people have applied for that, but sometimes it takes time for that to be approved. But before that is approved, usually a client can get a work permit. And that is something I covered in class, actually. They take it very seriously. And I think they benefit even people who did not have papers. So let's say someone came and they're out of status. Okay, maybe they came as students, they overstayed their visa. They came as visitors, they overstayed their visa. But they have a case on violence against women. They can always file for something called VAWA, but that takes time to be approved. Okay, but during this time, maybe it's taking too long and you want to visit your family or you want to just get papers and move on. So this is a true story that maybe Bruce you can share with us the details, because you never know who is listening. There are some people who have no papers and they're like, oh, I can see a pathway. I didn't know. I was going through this and I didn't know that I could utilize this to get this. You understand? Yeah.
thank you so much, Janet. Maybe for clarity, however much VAWA is violence against women, but it can happen vis-a-vis to
Men.
the opposite, yeah, yeah. So if you're a man out there, my fellow men, if something's happening in that line, this is also open for you. So we had this amazing client that had been in this kind of situation for the last 6, 7 years, and they came to us. They had an active VAWA case ongoing, and they had a valid work permit that was expiring actually in 3 months. Guess what? They came to us. They had collected very good experience as truck drivers, as a truck driver. And what happened? We filed a very serious case for him to get a work permit in Canada using his experience as a truck driver, because that's a very in demand actually occupation in this country. I think even in the US, but it was so easy for him to transition to this. And before even a job was approved for him, he got a Canadian visa, which is 6 years to come. And trust me, this was a family person who was really desperate, wanting. He told me actually, have made enough money. I have enough. I need my freedom back.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was approved. And actually, to be specific, his visitor visa to Canada was approved in 7 days.
Amazing.
So this person was there. It was in the US, stuck in this situation for 7 years.
7 years. And
But
in seven
just
days, in 7 days, his life just changed for life.
and guess what? This person is able now, because right now even flew to see the family, and he's gonna come back to Canada, continue his job. And guess what? He's allowed to bring the children. He's allowed to bring the wife
Mm-hmm.
and start a life in Canada. How
And that's
amazing is that?
it's amazing. When I heard that story, because I remember talking to the family in consultation, and they were just stuck and stuck and stuck. They're like me, I want my freedom back. I miss my family, I miss my children. I have enough money. Janet, I will do anything, I will do anything. I'm just stuck. And just to see them get their life back.
Wow, was
Just to
amazing.
see these people marry again, see these people flourish again with their girlfriends, boyfriends, their spouses, see these people hug their children again, see these people go and buy an apartment, an Airbnb
Wow.
home within a span of. So sometimes knowledge is power. And that is why I say, you know what, Bruce, if you come and share this story, this is someone somewhere listening who is in that situation, who has not seen the girlfriend for 7 years, who has not seen the wife for 7 years, who has not seen the spouse or kids. Okay. And what can they do? Maybe they've made enough money. Maybe they've gotten the education they needed, because some of the states here give people education regardless of papers. But then what next? Like, you can't just sit there. You're just sitting there with nothing happening. And me, when I heard this story, because once I sent them to experts in Canada, of course I didn't follow up until the testimonial came to me. And actually, I have to be honest with you guys who are following me, I cried tears. I know for you guys it's not easy to see what I'm seeing. But me, I remember the consultation, and I can tell you, I took my paper towel and I just had to wipe my tears. I really had to cry, because I know, what the impact was. And Bruce, I was so happy that this happened. And Mudoni was asking that, can men file VAWA, and I think you answered that question.
Of course, 100%.
That is nice.
So honestly, when you were stuck, being stuck and silent is gonna just make you more frustrated.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Even if you feel like you have a situation that you feel like it's hard to solve, kindly just give it a try. janetrangi67@gmail.com. Book a consultation.
Correct.
Let's talk to you, and you'll tell me how it goes. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to brainstorm and make it happen, because
We
we've
have
had,
resources. We have resources that you guys don't have. Okay.
yeah,
We have answers that you guys don't have. We are connected to people that you people are not connected. You understand? So don't sit on your problems. Just come and share your problem, and let's talk about it. You see, that is the beginning of solving problems. That's what I realize, is that people don't even take that step to ask questions. But with time, I'm seeing people just come and ask questions. Well, if there is no solution, there is no solution. But sometimes they are very surprised to see that there's a solution. Because this VAWA person, one day they were even undocumented. And look, that pathway, how it led to another, one thing led to another. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not saying that was the specific case for that client. Of course, we don't mention any names. Bruce, in class, they taught us that whatever the client tells you is private.
absolutely.
Yes,
It's
yes.
one of it's one of our terms and conditions on the website.
Yeah,
So
you cannot, whatever you tell us is private. What advice would you give a medical laboratory technologist who came to USA on a visit visa and interested to find a job? You cannot find a job when on a visiting visa, okay? It's against the law.
Yeah,
Okay.
how about the book a consultation at Janet Trying 67? We'll
Yes.
have some other ways to navigate that.
Okay, Edison, you are lab technologist. You're very smart. So just go to Ashley, then look at the email. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so
Is
I have
VAWA NGO? How does it work? Does it work for F1? I'm interested. Ah, that is a that is a basically it's a program. Okay, it's a pathway to green card. It's not an NGO. Okay, it stands for Violence Against Women. Okay. Normally, when someone files, they can be on the pathway to get a green card. Basically, they are claiming domestic violence. Their life is in danger because of the violence. And usually, the judge in US will look at the case and approve them for a green card. Okay. Yeah. But before you get the green card, there's always a benefit of getting a work permit. And that's what happened to some of these clients.
maybe
Someone who
to
for the email is there.
yeah, maybe to be specific, this marriage has to be in the US because I don't want people to mix the information.
Oh, okay. Maybe thinking it's an NGO outside America. No, 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 no. Okay, no, no. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. So we want another case scenario, Bruce, because people like real examples. Okay, because if you have a real example, you are more likely to, to relate yourself and apply that situation. Okay.
That's
Uh,
right.
so we have another person, of course, a testimonial who did not have papers,
Hmm.
but they managed to go to school. We know some states here in America will allow even without papers to go to school, go to
That's
college.
right.
Yes. So can you tell us more? So the key point here, this person did not have papers, but they managed to go to school. Okay. And they are probably wanting, again, they are missing their spouses, they are missing their families, and they are just tired. They want their freedom back. So what can you tell us about that particular situation?
Thank you so much. Uh, well, this was one of ours. Uh, one of you seated right there watching this video, either live or recorded. And when you came to the US, you utilize the resources to go back to school. And this particular client, the program she pursued is in, she did nursing. What's interesting about this, Janet, these are clients who picked up interest in community colleges. She came at a community college, she did a associate's degree in nursing. And after that, she had to go to her undergrad. And after the undergrad, she mastered in nursing. So she has all these series of education in the United States. How amazing is that? She got her license to practice. Remember, undocumented. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
like Janet has reminded you, there are some states that give education to undocumented people. So somewhere, wherever you are, try to search. You can even put in your Google where, and then if you are in another state, you may find that you're in the neighboring state. My sister, my brother, just cross over. Understand? So they came to us. They had this great experience, great education, and one of the provinces in Canada was giving um, nursing licenses to such people. And to make it fun, they were expediting application for people who have education like for that client of ours. We filled everything from A, and guess what? This person, the step they're at, it's only printing the license that is remaining. But they were successful. They never even asked them, oh, so when did you come? So what did you do? Nope. They're interested in her skill. You understand? So when you're out there and you feel like you've accumulated enough skills, there's an opportunity for you in here. Make it easy by booking a consultation at janetrangi67@gmail.com and let's explore this. There is an opportunity for you there.
Yeah. I think that was another example that touched my heart because this is a person who had no papers and they were scared to leave to go visit their families. And now all of a sudden their freedom is back. Yes, probably their dream was to work as a nurse in the United States, but they did not have a pathway because they don't have a work permit. But they had the opportunity. And Bruce, you brought up a very important point. Some people are just in one state and they don't know what's going on in other states. You see, Probably they are just, oh, I didn't know people can go to school. I didn't know people can go to college. You always want to look for that information. Yes, because there are some states where people go to school even without their documentation. And she happened to be one of those who took advantage of that education, got the skills. But when it came to papers, she was just stuck. And so Canada opened their arms to her, and that is now it's a good story. So you can
Yeah,
see, guys, we like giving real. These days, I tell people, these are very sensitive issues. Some people can't come here and say, guys, I was undocumented and this happened to me. That's why it's so hard for us to come and feature people here, of course, because it's private information. But we can only use these examples and hope that someone else somewhere is listening and their life will be changed. And I know sometimes your dream is to stay here in America, but maybe your dream is somewhere else. You understand? You can just use something else to move on and get your freedom back. You understand? Then one day you can come. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
We have another. Actually, Janet, I have one bonus point for our great followers. But again, we have people that have the privilege of starting up businesses, either small businesses, either you have a big business in those countries that don't, in those states that don't require people to be documented, but they're allowed to start up. So there is also a program within provinces in Canada, and they want you to invest a minimum of 100K, 100,000, and it gives you a direct permanent residency. And it's not only for you. If you have kids, your kids tag along on that. If you have a startup, if you have some business that is thriving, and you can transfer that by showing that you have this managerial skills of that, the investment pathway is also up for grabs for you. So don't feel stuck and you have all the money but you cannot travel. Hey, reach out, and we'll be able to give you a better way to handle this. Thank you.
okay. Jeff, where are you? I don't know where Jeff is, but he says he's a data analyst. Can he get an opportunity with Canada? Is it lucrative in Canada? So if you're in America, basically what Bruce is saying is yes. Okay. If you are in America, yes. If you are outside America, Bruce, what can you tell them? I always tell people, and this I used to teach a lot until so many people started talking about Canada and they're in Canada. So I started focusing. Jeff is in Kenya. Yeah, and I'm going to talk to you, Jeff, specifically. Um, about 5 years ago, I used to speak a lot about Canada programs. I'll do today Canada, the next day I do United States. In fact, some people used to think I'm in Canada. And then so many people came, YouTubers and everything. They started talking about Canada. So I didn't spend a lot of time, but there are so many people who really benefited from my knowledge of Canada. And actually, most of the videos were based on Janet Rangi. Some of them have become so big, but they didn't know. I used to see them they take my video and then they pin on their YouTube. And those days, YouTube was not that strict. Okay. But what I'm trying to say in those videos that I used to do, one thing I came to learn when I used to talk about this program that has people getting on points, what is it?
Express entry.
Express entry program. The express entry basically, Jeff, anyone can enter the express entry. I'm sure by now you know the express entry. And the express entry is based on point system. And those point system, the data you enter is what earns you points. So you, Jeff, having a master's is points. So you will earn more points than someone who has a bachelor's. So
It's
someone
true.
who has a PhD will earn more points than masters, than someone who has a bachelor's degree, then maybe someone with a diploma. However, someone who is 25 to 35 will earn the maximum points, and someone who is older will earn less. Okay, then there's the English proficiency, which is the IELTS. So
It's
someone
true.
who earns a band 7, band 8 will earn the maximum points, and someone who doesn't do well in English will earn less. So basically, after you put in your age, your sex, your working experience, is it 2 years, 5 years, your level of education, your English proficiency, they will do the aggregate points. Whoever scores the highest points is invited to apply for permanent residency. So that is how
Correct.
express entry works. Now, that express entry has points, so they can say, okay, this month when we ran, we realized that for you to apply for permanent residency, you must have scored 79 points. That could be the cut points. And you maybe, Jeff, you've put in your education, everything, but you're only scoring 65. You try to adjust it, you only stuck at 65 at the very best. Obviously, they're not going to invite you for permanent residency. But what we realized, if someone is in Canada on a visit visa and they get an employer, putting Canadian work experience in express entry, Jeff, your points will shoot from 65 to 85 or 90.
It earns them extra
Extra points.
600 points, and
Yes,
the cutoff points that have been actually been people have been nominated have been in 540. So if having an employer gives you extra 600 points, meaning you
you
don't
will
need
be
a
automatically get permanent residency.
absolutely.
Yeah, so that is why if you are looking for a job, in those days when I was used to do Canada videos, there are not so many people online. So people used to get even those jobs. I would send them to Canada.ca, and then there was the job board,
Job bank, yeah.
job bank, and they used to go there. But now, the competition has gone so high. So if you are looking for experience and you're outside Canada, it might not be easy. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so sometimes finding a way to get there, like now, if you go to Canada on a visit visa, you're allowed to work. Of course, that cannot be your intent when you're going there. It has to be visit. But when you reach there now, the law allows you to get a job, which Bruce knows very well. And that
Yeah,
program could be ending soon,
it's
2025.
yeah, the public policy ends on February 2025. So if Jeff is thinking about taking a step, it's still in a good timing, but after February 2025, no one will be allowed to come in. It won't
Yes.
be like no one, but because this is the second time it's been extended, but they're more likely to close it. But
Yeah.
why would you risk it? You still have time. I would
Yes.
just I would just advise them to book a consultation and we can
Yeah.
dive in this.
And that's just one of the programs. The express entry is big. We have provincial nominee programs. I used to talk about
Lots of
that
programs.
a lot. Rural immigration programs. I used to talk. I can't believe I used to talk about all these things. But I had to live for people who are in Canada. I didn't want to go on YouTube all the time. Canada, and I'm not in Canada. But I'm very happy that some of those things I pioneered them long time ago. Yeah, so sometimes finding yourself there really helps. Okay, yeah. So guys, what have we talked about? You come on a J1 visa, you really need to contact us. If you don't know the email, of course we'll share with you here. Okay, janetrangi67@gmail.com. Don't come late, because the lawyer who does waivers takes maybe 4 to 6 months before he sees results. So if you wait until the last minute, it becomes hard. But let's say, you've decided from day one, or, you come in and you have 2 months left, do not hesitate. Still come to us and Bruce will give you the Canada option. Or you're just that person who wanted Canada to begin with. Canada is an option if you have home residency restrictions on your passport. So J1 is an option, just like Bruce. He came on J1 and now he has made himself a permanent resident in Canada and is doing very
Yes.
well. I mean, if Bruce is here, he tested Missouri, United States. Okay, he was
Washington.
he was in Seattle, Washington, and now he's in Canada. Where are you, Vancouver? You
Exactly.
know? Yeah. So anything is possible. And then we've said there are some people who are undocumented. They ended up on VAWA. Who knew? And now they have rejoined with their families and they are taking tours back home and developing projects. They've gotten their freedom back. Then there are some people who are undocumented, but they got American education. Again, this is an opening. So we are talking to everyone. If you listen to this video again, you can see that this is an opportunity for some of you who are just afraid to take a leap of faith. And I always say you have nothing to lose, but you have everything to gain. Just book a
Mhm.
consultation, Janet Rangi 67@gmail.com. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna see if there are any other comments. Bruce, do you have any closing words for people? A pathway for unskilled jobs. Again, just book a consultation. Yeah, usually there's always an answer. Okay, those consultations are good for 90 days. Okay. We can connect you to the lawyer, but we remain available to answer your questions for a period of 3 months. Okay. Who is it? How can I reach? Okay, Bruce. Who was that? David asking. Okay, Bruce is part of Janet Rangi team. I always feel like when we do the emails, people think like if they find Bruce directly, they're gonna solve their problems. No, Bruce is part of Janet Rangi. If you come to us, we'll take you, and then Bruce will connect you to other people in Canada. Okay, it's just easy that way. That is our central location. You come to us, you want to see Bruce, And by the way, at least even Janet can talk to you. Bruce will never talk to you without a consultation. So don't think like you'll have an option. At least Janet will say hi and come and do the video. Okay, so you are better off just going to that email. Okay. Okay. All right. Someone is inviting her friends. So thank you so much for inviting. Okay. Yeah. So Shannon, you've had our email. David, thank you so much. Um, yes. So people are asking about pathways for coming to Canada and coming to the United States. Bruce, I'm very happy to see you. I've worked so hard today, by the way. People can tell from my eyes
Oh,
I'm tired, but I'm always determined to work. I don't give up. You know, I have some engagements coming up, and today I had to do a lot of things. I've done a lot, and I feel very accomplished. My water heater was broken. I got people to fix. My fridge was not producing ice. I got someone to fix. My AC was not working. I got someone to fix. My car was due for service. I did that. What else did I do? I've done so many, and today everyone was nice to me. Like I'm very happy with today. You know, every American I was calling, they said they were nice. Oh yeah, 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 honey. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh nice, okay. So it was a very successful day. But even after saying that, Bruce, I'm so tired today. So I have to thank you so much. I don't know if you had classes or how your day was today.
oh, just working, working. We have lots of work that goes in this little office of mine. This is where magic happens. You know.
Oh, okay.
So honestly, changing lives, dealing with complex, and you know what's fun? We like working with complex cases
Mm,
because they give us a great experience, and
mhm.
we like it when a life is changed and
Correct.
families can unite happily. That's why we are here. Honestly, there's nothing we like than seeing people get happier again and gaining their freedom. And we are so resilient to make it happen.
Yes, I always like it in our group in the morning when we share success stories. Anytime I get a success story, I share in the group, and you can see everyone is happy. That tells you that our goal is to change people's lives, solving a situation. That's why you see, if you go back, if you came in late, rewind this video from the beginning, you will see. And that is for those saying pin the email, it's there. The good news, when you watch this video, you'll see that email 100 times. It will still be on the screen, okay? Yeah. So if you go back in this video, you will notice that I'm targeting people. If you are to listen keenly to the video, it's a problem we are solving, okay? And we want a success story, just like the two success stories that came to us from Bruce. When we had a meeting with Bruce and I heard about it, I said, Bruce, you have to bring these stories to people because you never know who is listening. Okay, because we know there are so many people who have spouses they haven't seen, they have parents who they've never seen, and they have money and they just want this to come to an end, and they just want a solution, and usually they are very happy. And to summarize, actually, on a closing note, last year, Bruce, when I came announcing the EB3, when people hear it takes 2 to 3 years, some of them took a leap of faith, some did not. But for those who took a leap of faith, they are starting to see answers. So if you didn't watch my video yesterday, please go and watch. The people who started the EB3, the pioneer group, now they've been approved by the US Labor Department. And
Oh, yay!
by the US Labor Department, it means they went through step one where they had to sign contracts. Then they had to go through interviews where they got job assignments and job offers from American employers. Then they had to do something we call palm filing. Palm filing, the US gives just a certain number of green cards per year. So they don't want at the end of 2 to 3 years, they say, oops, you have no green card. So they register each client. They give them a number. Okay. So that means if that job is given to you, they can't give to someone else. Then they do palm filing. So they went through something called palm filing, and that went to the US Labor Department for vetting. If you don't know what vetting is, normally they are going to see that any other American need this job. Is the employer going to pay you equally like any other American citizen? Is giving this job to a foreigner suppressing American wages? And once the answer is no, then America will put a check mark and say approved, approved. So we are here to tell you that actually the first group that you had in those videos last year, when I was doing videos, people came to Janet Rangi 67 at gmail.com. We put them in the lawyer program and recruitment programs. and now they've been approved for labor certification. Now the next step is to file for them the immigration, what we call the I-140, which is petition for a green card for a foreign worker. When that is approved, these people will move to the United States with their families, spouses, children under 21 will all come as a family, and whoever applied for the green card will go work for that employer for 1 year. If they are here in America or even on asylum, they'll do adjustment of status. If there are students here in America, they'll do adjustment of status from student visa to green card. Get a work permit, get a green card. So I just had to share the good news. Okay, these things are for real, for real. And thank you so much for always following. Bruce, last word, if any.
Yeah, well, I want to thank everyone who has been part of our live session. Love you so much. If you have any person that came to your mind while watching this video, that is God telling you pass this information to that person. And if you stuck at any point, even if we didn't talk about that specific point, kindly book a consultation at janetrangi67@gmail.com. We'll be able to meet you. We want everybody to be free because this is a free world. Why not? And we love you, we love you, we love you.
Yes, and I like that we are giving options to these visas that are not just visit visa, student visa. Now we are looking at other options. What are other problem areas in society that we can actually solve? We've successfully solved the problem of people overstaying their visas. People are no longer overstaying unless they don't know us. So that is a problem we are very proud to have solved, which we are very happy about. So thank you so much for coming. Merci beaucoup. Asanteni sana. Muchas gracias. Zikomo. I will see in the next video. Please subscribe, share. This video will be here for weeks, months to come. Enjoy and share with other people. And remember, the email is there if you need any help. So I'll see you in the next video. And Bruce, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, guys.